Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Cox here. Sorry about that. A little bit about, looks like I'm about 9 minutes late. I apologize. Running a little bit late from home, trying to get my stuff together, and just got here a little bit late. I apologize. All right. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Let me just get myself situated here. You guys get a little clips in my office. It's Thanksgiving week, and we're getting ready here at the studio also to, for our holiday season and kicking it off. And we're looking forward to a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas time. You guys know that I'm a big Christmas fanatic. If you don't know that, you're welcome to go by my house. It'll be decorated to the till. I'm still kind of doing that, and we're looking forward to it. So I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody this week. We got a lot to be thankful for. I've got some questions that people have kind of proposed to me, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of my journey, guys, and what we're doing. We're going to talk about 75 Hard. We're going to talk about some, I've got some text messages, questions, and I've got some direct message and some comment questions that are coming. You're welcome to see on the comments over here. As a matter of fact, and making sure that these, just let me make sure that we can view comments and stuff like that, if that's good. If you need Facebook open, mute it. Okay, so guys, if you're watching on Facebook, just do me a favor, just give me kind of a thumbs up so I know that comments are working both on the Real Talk. I think I have somebody on Facebook and I have somebody on Real Talk. If you guys just give me a thumbs up so that I can see it on the comments, that I can see both comments just in case you guys got questions coming in. I have somebody from it looks like the YouTube channel that's gone. There you go. You like that? You dig my fireplace? Isn't that great? You know what's weird about it is, so this is a big TV that we have in the background, and I always kind of got a fire going on in the back. It's just it's super relaxing. So if you're sitting in my office right here, I don't know if you can see up top a little bit right here, up there across this ceiling. So if you come into my office, anybody that's been inside my office, hey Jose, how you doing, buddy? If you come in my office, we have this, so you know where I got the idea. So if you come in my office, it's kind of like a museum, man. I have got so much stuff on every ounce of the walls and tins, and I've got military flags in here that were dedicated to the studio, and just all kinds of stuff. I'm a Hulk fanatic, if you don't know that. So when you come in my office, it's kind of like stepping into it. You don't know where to look. There's so much to look at. And then I've got my whole podcast office in here also. And then above the ceiling right here, I can't have it running when I'm on air because it's constant. But I've got a G-scale train that's right above my head on the ceiling. And then on the other side of my office here, I have a dual train up on the ceiling where one's going one way, one's going the other, and where I have two O-scale trains up there, which is pretty awesome. And so it's been it's a fun office. Let's just say that. So some of my students may not say it's fun when you got to come in and talk to Mr. Cox in his office, but when you get to come in here, you're always welcome. If you guys come down, you can come and see the studio and come in my office and I'll give you a tour of it. That'd probably been fun to do a live one time where I'm just kind of walking around. You can see everything in here. I've got some really cool stuff that was given to me. One of my coolest things, I can't show, it's on this side over here on this wall, but is a military flag. And it was flown by, here, let me get this. So if you look at this right here, right, this is the 69th. This is the bomb squadron right here, right? This is what it was. And the 69th Bomb Squadron, this is certified that the flag flew on the B-52H on December 15th, 2017, with the call sign GRIM-23 in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. This was a flag, so the flag's right here above it, that was flown on that mission, and then it was presented to me by this. This was really a really cool gift. And so you guys know that I teach quite a bit of military, and so there's always challenge coins and patches that are kind of the norm for military and for police. Okay. And matter of fact, John V just gave me this. This is his company from the Marine Corps. He just gave me this challenge coin the other day, and just how awesome that kind of stuff is. It's a huge tribute. It's one of my most favorite things that I've ever gotten from the military. I've gotten some of the coolest gifts ever from so the Nighthawks one time. That particular crew that we were teaching, the Nighthawks, they gave such an awesome gift one time. They have it was a hand pistol that was made just for them. They only had, I don't know, 45 made for their team. So it's got the Nighthawks emblem on it. And, I keep that locked in the safe, but they gave me one of those guns. I think I was number 12 out of the 45 guns that they gave us, which was just an awesome gift. So those are some of the perks. I know I've got some questions on the military and what we do when we go and teach the military. So let's talk about that real quick. The military, we've gotten to be able to teach the police officers and the military. There's definitely a difference in between the two, for sure. When it comes to military, how their tactics are a lot different than the police tactics. When you're going in on a raid or whatever you're doing. And most of the time when I go and teach the military, I'm teaching mostly the Krav Maga gun. That's what I do the most. That's probably my forte. And we go in and we'll teach the soldiers, a gun from front and rifle, and then they have these great training centers there as it is. And you go, and when they have a shoot house that's really awesome with sim training and stuff, so we can kind of test out what it is we're teaching with them. But so you guys know, if you don't know, Joe out in Pooler is our main defensive tactics Krav Maga instructor, and he's a 20 plus year combat veteran ranger with out there with multiple tours, and he's our main guy. But what he's done on his next shift was he was working with the chaplains. And so the last few things that we've done is working with the chaplains and the chaplains' assistants. So in case you don't know, on the military, when the chaplain's on base, which we have one, Rick is one of our chaplains in Simi Valley's Krav Maga. You're not allowed to carry firearms as a chaplain. And so they always have an assistant that's with them that is protecting them on the battlefield. And so we work. Now, a chaplain can have a secondary weapon and stuff, but he can't carry a firearm. And so, we go through scenarios on how to protect the chaplain and the chaplain's assistants. And that's been kind of one of the main things that we've done for quite a while now on the military front, and under Joe's lead. And so that's why I usually fly out to Georgia, and when we're doing that military. Also, Pooler has a contract with the Garden City Police Department, so we've been working on post-certified curriculum of Krav Maga there. So the question posed is, what do I do, or what is our forte? It's so in the military, when I'm teaching, I do my forte when it comes to Krav Maga. What I love the most is defense against the gun, and gun from the front, rifle. That's what I like to teach the most. And the fundamentals of self-defense, how to throw punches properly, how to have the mindset, and all that goes with that. That's kind of what my forte is. And so that was the question posed to me. And yes, we've done other Ranger battalions that we've taught, and I personally got to go through the SOC-P course, which is special operations. It's something that I got to go through with Joe and take the class, and then the second half I would teach. And so, that's where, believe it or not, guys, that's where kind of my journey of weight loss and stuff comes in. So Jose had asked, I saw him on uh, Jose, are you listening to on Real Talk? Are you on Facebook? I just want to make sure that I'm getting comments from both those lives, because I see that I have some people on Real Talk and I have some on Mark Cox's, uh, and then we have, yes, and we got some live views on Facebook. Okay, so I'm just kind of taking a look in that. You're on Facebook, okay? So I'm seeing that I see uh, the thing. I appreciate it, Jose. Thank you for showing up to this too. I know you're on 75 hard on one of the phases, and we'll talk about that in a second. So, let me just tell you, when this is where my journey is, when I was going through a SOCP course on what had happened to me in 2017, when this whole thing kind of came to a head, and what had happened to me. So here's the story. When I was going, I had flown out to do this course on base, and the second half I had to go ahead and uh, teach gun, and the first half I was taking the SOCP course. And this particular time I wasn't feeling well at all, and so by the end of day I was super tired. I was really, really tired by the end of day. Before I went to that trip and did that course, I had injured myself doing a just a simple groin kick and into the pads, and I had hurt my leg, and it was swollen, and it just wouldn't go down. So I went to the hospital and say, "Hey, man, can we just double check? I don't have a blood clot in here." And so they did an ultrasound for me, and everything was fine. So that particular day, I said, "Okay, well, if I got the good to go, then I'm going to go ahead and take off and teach this class." And so I got on the airplane, and at that time, also, just so you know, I was, you know, I was on a doctor's. There's a men's clinic, and I was shooting testosterone through the men's clinic with doctors, because my test was so low, and they had me on these low dosage, and then so I would take a shot before I leave on the airplane, so I didn't have to do it when I'm there. And so I want you to imagine this. Okay, so I've done that, and I'm flying, and then I get to Georgia. I have a week of this that I'm doing, and every day, man, I was super, super tired, man, at the end of the day. And as a matter of fact, where I stay with Joe and Victoria, they even came and helped me that night with, I had some chills, and I just wasn't feeling well. And then I get up the next day, and I just humped through what we had to do. And by the end of week, man, I was really looking forward to coming home. So I went home, and I don't know. So, the next day I went to the weight room, and I was lifting a little bit, and then I, at night I couldn't sleep. Then the next time, Michael's at home at this time because he's not married just yet, and I said, "Hey, son, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I cannot get comfortable. I'm going to go. I'm going to run to the hospital and just have this checked. It feels like I have a rib out of place. I thought I hurt myself during training." And so I went to the hospital, and right away I had a hard time doing this, where you take a big breath and you let it out, right? And I had a really hard time doing that. So they said, hey, they hooked up the EKG, and they're checking my heart to make sure I didn't have a heart attack or something to that effect. And they said, hey, your heart is fine. We're going to take you to PET scan. And so I didn't really even know what that was, to be honest with you, when I was there. And so they send me to PET scan, and they come back, and the lady had told me, she goes, listen, you're going nowhere. We are admitting you now. And they started giving me some shots in the stomach for blood thinning, and told me that I have double blood clots that are in my lung. And now let me tell you, that was a super eye-opening thing for me, that I was laying in the hospital, told I was lucky to be alive, that the clots didn't go into my heart or up to where I'd get a stroke. So I'm in. they admit me right then and there, and then I'm in the hospital, and I was like, wow, the traumatic event that can turn around in within an hour of your life, to going that, hey, you're lucky to be alive, to that was very super traumatic. So this is where this journey started, guys. This is how it all started. Is from me teaching the military. I'm flying home, and I'm here, and I'm in the hospital bed, and they're telling me I have double blood clots. And then through this process, you get all kinds of doctors that come and talk to you, including the heart doctor. And the heart doctor had asked me, are you shooting testosterone? And I said, yes, sir. I'm under doctor's orders on that, and that's what I'm doing. And he says, do you know that can thicken your blood? And are you giving blood or anything like that? And which I was not. So it was, it first of all, it's a miracle that I stayed alive, right? Because not only did I shoot some tests, and then I flew. So you're up in the air where you have all this pressure, when you're flying, to being sick, to flying back home, to heading to the gym and all this stuff. And for some reason, God has other plans that I'm here. So that's what had happened. And so when you're laying there in the bed and it's day 3 and they're not letting me even walk yet because they don't want anything to break off, and I'm just, and I'm on these blood thinners, and then they're shooting my stomach with stuff, and of course every doctor says something to you about, hey man, you've got to drop some weight and stuff like that. I was definitely at way higher rate, way high in the 300s, super high in the 300s, and I was like, of course you hear it all, and that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You go to the doctor, what's the first thing they say? Usually it's your weight is too much and you got to change your diet. I mean, this is what we hear constantly when we go to the doctor. But unfortunately, when you do that, doctors are very not skilled in how to, uh, treat eating or treat eating disorders or diet. They're not dietitians. They don't know. It's just, they say, here's the calories and do what you're going to do, and you need to lose some weight. I mean, that's pretty much the way it goes in Western medicine, which is unfortunately kind of sucks. So, listen, this is I went through a really dark time here, just so you guys know. So in February, my son's getting married, and I'm super lucky to even be at his wedding. And I remember being there, and this is now 4 months into what I'm doing, just so you know. So it's February, and I'm 4 months in, and I am super depressed. And every time, I don't know if you guys have had medical to tell me, give me a thumbs up if you've had this or not, right? So I am, every time something kind of pulps in my heart, or I feel this twang, I really felt that I was going to either A, die, or B, going to have a stroke, which I asked several times, Lord, just take me home. Do not let me have a stroke. You know what I mean? Please. And so this is how I was living. And I'm super depressed. And I really wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing squat. And I can't tell you, I'm not really sure exact amount of weight that I was at my highest. Okay. I really don't know. But based on what I'm saying, it could have been close to 4, maybe close, close in that area. I just don't know. You've seen me do some before and after pictures, especially when I'm in that suit. That suit is at Michael's wedding at that time. Super unhealthy, super scared, super depressed, and just, didn't know where I was going to be with life, right? Jay Walker is the one that kind of curved all this for me. So Jay went and he did this contest, and he's on this keto diet. And then I watched Jay do a complete transformation. And I said to myself, hey, you know what? If Jay can do that, I can do this. And I studied on it for a week and a half. That's what I did. I just kind of looked through it, and I did everything, and I studied on it and to see what it's going to look like. And once I did that, I said, I think I can do this. And I called Jay and I said, hey, I think I'm going to, uh, um, did you, Jay, I said, Jay, I don't want anybody to know this, but I'm just going to try this out. And you want to know why I didn't want anybody to know? Because I've already set myself up for failure. That's why I didn't want anybody to know, if we're going to be honest about it, right? Is because uh, I thought, you know what, we're going to fail this, so we might as well. Uh, I don't want to tell anybody in case it just doesn't happen. So that's the real reason, if you want, if for me to be honest. But then I started this journey, and I saw some immediate results when I went to a keto diet. I bought all the blood things to check my blood every day. You can ask Jay about this. I mean, I was checking myself all the time. Is everything okay? Am I in ketosis? What does that mean? And so, for those of you, and I'll get to the keto questions in a second, but this is the journey I went on. And guys, I had to make a mind shift. And this is what I want to talk to you about: is having a mind shift into what it is you're going to do, and in stuff. Anything you do, I don't really care if it's working out. I don't care if it's your marriage. Your relationships. I don't care if it's anything of the sort. But uh, if you're going to have success, your mind has to be right. And I wish there was a magic pill that I could give everybody. I really do, because if I could, I would let everybody know, here's the pill. Everything's going to be good. But that's just not the case. It's hard work. It's a mindset, and you need to move forward through it. And you are going to have something thrown at you every single day. And sometimes the people that love you the most are your biggest uh, roadblocks. Okay. Um, so if you, and I wasn't there. And so I had to make this decision in my head. I remember laying down and saying, okay, I can't live like this anymore. So if something's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to me, and I'm just going to move on. And so that's what I did. And I just got up the next day and I just started this thing. Okay. I emptied everything out of my cupboards. I told my kids there'll be no more pasta in the house. You guys don't have to cover this, but this is what's not going to be in the house anymore. And then I said, and I gave up sugar. And to be honest with you, I believe that giving up sugar is probably the most uh, important thing that I did. It's what changed my skin, I believe. It's what it took me from looking super unhealthy to looking younger. And I believe sugar is a killer, and it's definitely a killer in our children. And then you have uh, uh, I think that, you know, how do I say this? A ketchup, even, right? For a bottle of ketchup, you have this much sugar in a bottle of ketchup. And I used to put ketchup, even when I was dieting, on everything. And I'm like, wow, anything I touched, I had sugar. And so I had to give this up, and I gave up sugar. And I very rarely eat any type of sugar, even though some of our foods have sugar in it. I'm very careful on what that is. So if you want to see a change in your health, that's the first thing I would tell you. Anybody that's a Coke fanatic or drinking Cokes, sodas, energy drinks, when you start pushing that stuff aside, you are going to see some great results. Any kind of alcohol, guys. When I started 75 Hard, one of the thing is no alcohol. Now, I really didn't drink. I'm not a beer drinker, and I'm not really a drinker. And maybe I have a little bit of whiskey here and there, casual with guys. We salute something, and that is. But I completely gave that up. But I also know people that are close to me that drank a lot, and they give up alcohol, and all of a sudden they just completely look healthy. They just look a little different. So that's where I started my journey, guys. It was a mindset that I had to get out of my own head, and if I didn't get out of my own head, then I'd get nothing. So this is it, guys. This is how it was. So this is the question on how I started my keto journey. That's how I started. I had a question on that. And so the next thing is, is the ketogenic diet, okay, and is it for everybody? Maybe it is for everybody, and I'm not here. Listen to me. People have lost a numerous amounts of weight not doing keto diets. Okay, so uh, I whatever works, I'm an advocate for. Do you understand? Whatever that is. If it's calorie deficit, if it's intermittent fasting, if it's any of that kind of stuff, I'm an advocate for whatever is working for you. And people see a transformation in me because I've lost close to 115 pounds or something to that effect, something in that number, and how I did it, and I'm still not where I'd like to be. Just so everybody knows, I still um, I personally would like to lose another 65 pounds, to be honest with you, uh, with training in jujitsu like I do. And so everybody asks, "Is what's the keto? What's what ketogenic do?" Right. So when you're in ketosis, when you're ketogenic is you are starting to learn. Your body is now starting to burn fat over anything else. Right. It's starting to burn fat than it is um, like when you burning carbohydrates, guys, you have this high carbohydrate diet, and American diet is just notorious for carbs, right? Tortillas, chips, bread, pasta. I mean, and I ate all that crap, and then you see you have this high carb, and then what your carbs do is they turn to sugar, and it's burning sugar, and so you unless you're eating even healthy. Now it doesn't mean there's not healthy carbs. It just most people don't drink eat healthy carbs, right? Vegetables are carbohydrates. High in brown rice, and that's or my Ronnie used to love Ronnie over rice loves my trainer sweet potatoes. He just feels that they give you a longer window. The glycogen is a little bit different, and so that is something that he enjoyed. A little bit of sweet potatoes. That's his diet. That's how he eats. And so I think that uh, for me, when I was in ketosis, I felt a little bit different. I can feel that I wasn't eating sugar. You can't be in ketosis and eat sugar. You just won't be in ketosis. Okay, so your glucose has to be. I measure my glucose in my blood. I do it almost on a daily anyway, and so when you're in ketosis, you can't have a high carbohydrate diet. You'll never be in ketosis. The beauty of the ketogenic diet for me was there is no faking it. Okay, you can't say you're in it, and then you take a reading, and if you're not in ketosis, you're not doing the ketogenic diet correctly because you're not in ketosis. And so there getting for me, guys, getting writing down, I went to Carb Manager and I got my Carb Manager diet. And what I did is for the first month, I was religious on everything I took in. It told me exactly how many, and I kept in my macros. And it's a weird phenomenon, right? That your fat content should be higher um, than your protein, right? It's just not. It's a weird thing to think about, right? How do you have a high fat diet and lose weight? That's weird. So that's what I did. And so, is there an unhealthy way of doing ketogenic diet? Absolutely. Yeah, you can drive through McDonald's and get a sausage McMuffin and tell them no bun, and you're eating, the cheese, the sausage, and the egg. Is that the most healthiest thing? Is it technically keto? Yes, it's technically keto. In and Out with their protein style burgers, is that a ketogenic thing? It is a ketogenic thing. Believe it or not, as long as you're not having the bun and probably the sauce in there too, because it's got sugar in it. But and they have these things called flying saucers, or yeah, and so you get two patties with a piece of cheese and stuff like that. Super keto. So here's the thing: did I ever use that stuff? Absolutely, you guys. So when I traveled, if I had to do a quick eat, all right, there's no at times I don't like eating a lot of red meat, just so you know. But if saw a In and Out, that's something that I would grab a snack for and get a couple of their patties with protein style and one piece of cheese, and that would fulfill, and it would still stay within my macros of what it is. Is that the most healthiest way? No, it's not. What is a good, healthy this is the question that, um, Johannes's mom asked me about, what's some good healthy fats? So, guys, I always have a packet sometimes of coconut oil with me. The MCT oil is awesome for ketogenic diets, but unfortunately for me, sometimes it gives me a little bit of an upset stomach. Some people it doesn't bother at all. Some people it does, right? So for a long time, if I had a salad, I'd take a teaspoon or a tablespoon of MCT oil and I would kind of put it on along with a little bit of dressing, and I would add it to my salads to get the MCT oil in. And I learned that coconut oil packets at Trader Joe's, coconut oil, you can go ahead and grab those. And I always have that packet with me. So if I need to up my fat content a little bit, my macros of fats have to be, I will use that coconut oil on, let's say I've gotten a piece of salmon or something to that effect, and with some broccoli or something, and I would put the coconut oil on and make sure I eat that with it. So that gives me this higher fat content. So, um, so these are some, and listen, guys, you have to be very careful on some things, right? Not all nuts are great. By the way, this is stuff that I had to learn. I thought cashews were great, but for a ketogenic diet, cashews suck. Okay. And peanuts aren't the best. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. Almonds are good, but you have to have this little you have to have a quarter cup if you're going to do anything, guys. If you want to have a little bit of almonds or something during the day, or pecans or something like that, get a quarter cup and do not just reach your hand into a bag and grab a thing. Get a quarter cup, put them in a plastic bag. That is exactly measured to what you can. You know exactly how many calories you're taking in, how many fat contents you're taking in, so that you can have a win. If you guys go fly by the seat of your pants, now is this not true for anything, right? If we go by and fly through the seat of our pants and just do anything that we want to do, um, then we are surprised, right? Oh my gosh, I have no results. Are you kidding me? All right, I'm not. I'm following it to a T. Da da da. Let me tell you something. You're not. Okay. There's something wrong in your macros if you're not having a win. Okay, so hence 75 hard. This is what comes about. I get on to Andy Frisella. I totally relate to this guy. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Is that okay? Hold on a second. Totally keto, by the way. It's a little bit of heavy cream with this Nespresso. Nespresso, chocolate coffee. There's no sugar, but it has this chocolate taste. They have the peppermint out for Nespressos. No sugar. It's got a little peppermint taste, a little bit of heavy cream. That is that's way better than any energy drink that you're taking in, for sure. And so 75 hard comes about because this Andy Frisella, and I am I am totally zoned into this guy's podcast. Now, I've shared a lot of his stuff, and I know his language sometimes is up there, but I don't know. That's just real to me. I like the way he talks. I like the way he's no nonsense. He struggles with depression himself. He struggled. He was a 350-pound man himself, and he developed this program called 75 Hard. There's 5 things that you have to do, and you guys know, and I've done this several times. I failed a couple times. I succeeded, and then I went on to these phases. So the question was about 75 Hard, how it came about. Well, this is how it came about. You have to drink a gallon of water, which is by far the hardest thing I do on 75 Hard is drinking a gallon of water. I can drink a gallon of coffee, no problem. But a gallon of water, brutal. Okay. And read 10 pages a day. And, I hear all the time, well, I read more than that. That's not what the thing. 10 pages a day, find a book, follow, stick to the plan. If you do more than that, that's great. But why talk about it? Okay. You got 10 pages to do. All right. You got workouts. You got 2 workouts. You got a indoor workout and an outdoor workout. They have to be 45 minutes long. I know, Jose, you have a question for me. I'm going to talk about these, what my morning stuff is. You may even be a little more disciplined than I am in the morning time based on what I'm watching. But so you have 2 workouts, one in the morning, one at night. You have to take a progress picture every day. Okay. Every day you take a progress picture. Right. And then you have to be on a diet. And on your diet, whatever the diet is, there can be no cheating, and you cannot wave. You can't be having a bunch of little snacks, and you can't have any alcohol. And you got to do this for 75 days. Now, let me tell you, 75 hard completely changed my mindset. It completely changed it a couple ways. First of all, it changed it in a way that when you give me excuses on why you can't do anything, just pisses me off, right? Because I had all these excuses all the time sometimes. And when I have it, you got this, Andy talks about this bitch voice and this beast voice all the time. Which one is it? And I remember sometimes on my 75 hard not getting my outdoor workout in. And I was like, man, um, I got to get up. It doesn't matter if I got to walk around the freaking block or do what I got to do to get this outdoor workout in. Now, luckily for us, our 24-hour fitness has a whole outdoor thing. It's where the Rams used to do their camp when they were here in Thousand Oaks. And so I had this access to this outdoor facility when I really needed to do outdoor workouts. But then what happens? Pandemic hits, right? And I really worked on having a home gym. I have a beautiful home gym. I love old school weights. If you know anything about me, I can't stand these plastic weights that you can't hear clang. I love the sound of real iron in the weight room. I I'm weird. I like it a little more dingy. I'm not into these gaudy looking gyms and all that stuff. I like headphones on. I like to hear the weights clang, and I like to get after it when I'm doing this stuff. And so I made that my gym. I found old school iron dumbbells that I have a whole rack of. I mean, old school ones like you would see when we were in high school and playing football. And I've got all the free weights that I have, and then I bought what's called the tank. If you know the tank, it's one of those things that you push, and they have a version for your home. It's got a 3-wheeler. I have 3 plates on that, and I push that thing around the block. So I have the tank at home too, and I've worked on having this awesome gym. And so I go on this 75 hard journey, and it is a mind thing for sure. And then we started reading books, and then you guys can go back and look at my with Mr. Escobar. He is a book fanatic, and I have a podcast with him. You're welcome to go back and the entrepreneurs coffee chat that he has. Jose, if you're still online with me, just post that on there so people can come and look at you too. If they have any questions for that. So I go on this 75 hard, and Jay and I do this thing together. And I'm going to tell you something that was very, very powerful. It is, I've heard a lot of people say they've done it and then they modify things, or I can't drink that much water. Right, Dickie? That tank is gnarly, I can't drink all the water, so I'm only doing half a gallon, or I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to slide. And listen, man, there's 5 things to do them all. And that's how you succeed at 75 hard. I mean, that's the first thing about 75 hard, right? You got 5 things to do. If you can't do those 5 things, you've already failed. Your mindset's already failed. Okay. And so I think that was the first part of me. And then when I hear excuses, when people are on 75 hard, anybody that's done 75 hard out there, ready? Tell me you're not true. Jose, you've done it. Do you just get like mind boggled about excuses? Just like shut up and move on and do what you're going to do, man. Okay. Everybody's fighting something. Everybody struggles with something. It doesn't really matter. If you're fat, you're struggling there. If you're skinny, you're trying to gain weight. Okay. When you're losing weight, people say, oh man, what's wrong? Are you sure you're healthy? When you're not gaining enough weight, are you sure you're not healthy? Are you sick? I mean, it is a constant barrage of bullshit all the time. All right. And so you guys, this is the beauty of 75 hard. I drain all that out and I put my headphones on and I get to work. And then I pick these books. Now, I've had to do some stuff, guys. I knew this. I didn't have the app. They didn't have an app when I first did 75 hard. The app makes things a little bit easier if you're going to use it. And so I had a thing. I drank almost a liter of water as soon as I got up, and then I would take a progress picture. First thing in the morning, everything, 2 things that I started. I started my water intake and I took a picture, right? Jose, you asked about how I do things. What's my mornings and evenings look like? If I can get after it in the morning, I like to get a workout in the morning. I really do. Sometimes I can't do that. I've got classes to teach, right? And and so I decided that uh, my routine was getting that picture in, and then at night, guys, I have this nice little patio, and I got a little patio heater, and I got a little fire pit that runs on propane. To get my reading in, guys, I would do it at nighttime, sitting outside. If it was chilly, it was cold. If it was windy, if it was hot, it didn't matter. But I wouldn't fall asleep when I read. Okay, so uh, and so that's what I ended up doing myself. Is I read when I knew I couldn't fall asleep because I almost failed 75 hard, and I know somebody that failed it because they didn't get their reading in because they fell asleep reading. And so, you got to start over. It just is what it is. And so that's what I would do. And I always had kind of an evening workout. I always felt that I needed to do something in the evening before I did anything, whether it was walk, whether it was going to the gym, doing the workout outside, pushing the tank, whatever it is I did at night, that's kind of what I did. Now here's the thing about 75 hard, guys. There is no excuses. None. And then you have to battle your mind, and then you have to have some integrity, right? The integrity is I've had people say they've done 75 hard and then said they really haven't, yeah, I got through it. It is what it is. Uh, if there wasn't a mental shift, you didn't do 75 hard. You didn't do the program. You did some half-assed version of the program, and you didn't do the program. I'm telling you that right now. I know this from experience. The 75 hard put into hyper thing about my um, weight loss was a byproduct of my mindset. You guys got that? It wasn't. I didn't do 75 hard to lose weight. I did 75 hard to change my head, to get my head right. And boy, did it do it. That did an awesome thing for me. Right. So when I did 75 hard, I was like, uh, these are the things I learned. Now I've got a panel. I think what we're going to do is a 75 hard panel talk one time. Everybody that's done 75 hard, Jose, you'll probably be in on that, right? Jay, John, all these guys. I got females that did it with us, and you're going to hear something when we all get on a panel talk on one of these talks about, wow, this is what I felt, and hey, I've been there, right? And here's the main thing. Here's what you're going to learn in 75 hard, guys. Here's what you're going to learn in life, period. You're going to have people that say, oh, I wish I could do that, but the holidays are coming, so I can't do that. I'm not doing that. And I'll wait till next year. And then the next year rolls into the next year and all that kind of garbage. Right. And so we have these cheerleaders. Hey, I'm not doing it, but I'm sure rooting for you. And then pretty soon you're on day 10. And then people are like, they may notice a little bit of something, right? Pretty soon you're on day 20 and nobody even gives a rat's ass what you're doing anymore, correct? They don't care. You realize real quick, the next questions you get around day 20 is, are you still doing that thing, that 75 hard thing? You know what I mean? So you're going to learn that you're all in, but you're all in by yourself. It is what it is, okay? If you want to have this awesome experience in changing your mindset. And that's the beauty of 75 hard, guys. You know what I used to love? I did 75 hard when I traveled. I did it through holidays because you know why? Because that's the time nobody's doing squat. They don't have a pair to start something when it's the hardest to start. So being in Georgia in the heat, I've done it in the heat and I've done it in the winter, been on 75 hard, and you got to go outdoor workouts. I used to go to Pooler Karate. They have a big parking lot. I'd put to do my 45 minute outdoor workout, whether it's the heat or the cold, I would put kettlebells on each side. He has a long parking lot. I'd walk to one side and do kettlebell swings. I'd go to the other one and do kettlebell lifts with shoulders. And then I would do the other side. I'd walk the other way and I would do push-ups there. I walked the other way. I would do squats. This is exactly what I did on the 75 hard. And I remember it pouring down rain one time and I'm out there doing this. And here's what I knew. I remember going, right, and you see all the the rain splattering on the kettlebells, and I'm lifting this kettlebell, and in my head I'm going, there's not another human being doing this right now in this weather. And that's something about that just jacked me up even more. Okay. I felt such a sense of accomplishment, right? I didn't need any of my friends to tell me what a good job I was doing. I did nothing. I got done with that workout. I was dripping. I was dripping in water, and my sweatshirt was wringing wet, and the kettlebells are covered with water, and I get inside and I sit down and I go, nobody else in this state just did what I just did in 45 minutes outside in this weather. And something about that was an accomplishment. That's the beauty of 75 hard. That's why I did 75 hard. So the guys that question me on why did I decide to do it? Why do I keep doing it? Because it's like sharpening a knife, right? The more you want it that just right, right? And it's what sharpens my head, guys. It gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me a sense of drive. When I feel I'm being lazy, when I think, oh, you know what, I'm going to hit phase 1. You know what, I'm going to hit phase 2. And and then you go to these different phases. Phase 1's a whole different ball game. Phase 1's probably the hardest one I've done so far, because you have to add cold showers in. You have to hit goals. You have to have goals in mind. You have to have visualization, and you have to have all that stuff, right? And so that's what I did. And here's the thing, guys. The books that you read, I choose some books. And I am a huge advocate of Extreme Ownership from Jocko. I've read it 4 times. I listened and read at the same time. I don't know if you guys know that with books, right? Where you're listening and you're kind of following along with the book. So you got Jocko reading, or Leif reading Extreme Ownership, while you're following along in a book, and you're kind of taking notes, and you can hear them and you hear their passion, because that's what they lived it. And then you have this Extreme Ownership. This is the most life-changing book for me at all, because Extreme Ownership, guys, has what has happened in my head. Taking ownership. This is one of those things that drives me crazy. And I ask people that are in my inner circle, hey, if I'm not taking ownership of something, man, you check me, okay? Because taking extreme ownership is life-changing. And here's some examples. Just so you know, guys, I got a great girl. Her name's Kat, right? If you guys met Kat before, right? And when she went, so think about that. She's been with me for a long, long time. And even at my highest weight, she was with me. Even at going through the stuff. So before my weight loss, guys, I had a credit score of 670. Okay. 670. Okay. Creditors. I went through a divorce. I got bills up the yazoo, and I got tax bills that were owed for 5 years. Okay, 5 years, $20,000-$30,000 of taxes, right? That I just didn't pay. I didn't care at that time. I was going through a divorce. I just didn't care about nothing. I didn't care about my credit score. I didn't care about health. I didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to get through life day by day. And so this is what happens. Extreme. Imagine if I had the mindset I do today when that shit was happening, okay? And I have this extreme ownership. And here's what it is. This is extreme ownership. Let me give you some examples. The creditors would call me, and guess what I would do? I'd be yelling at that creditor. I dare you call me, and I dare you do this. Why am I yelling at her for something that I owe? Why? Because I don't take any ownership in it. I didn't take ownership in nothing. Okay. I went ahead and said, that's your fault that I didn't pay that bill, and I don't want to hear it from you. As opposed to saying, hey, I appreciate your job. I don't have money at this time. It's my fault. There's nothing I can do about it, though. I didn't take any ownership in nothing. Nada. And so I mean, have you guys experienced that for real? I mean, have you looked yourself in the mirror and said, man, there's a lot of times I don't take extreme ownership. We get mad at other people for our shortcomings, right? What we see as negative in ourselves is what we really portray on others, I believe, right? That's the thing about the bow in martial arts, right? Especially the one with most respect, right? It's saying what? It says, the good in me sees the good in you, and the bad in me sees the bad in you. And boy, is that a powerful statement. The good in me sees the good in you, and the bad in me sees the bad in you, which means what I see bad in you is really what I see bad in me, right? And I project that elsewhere, and it and this is something that I super struggled with. And when I tell my own children, if you can have extreme ownership, if you can have extreme ownership, you life is going to be different for you. When you take ownership of your mistakes and you take ownership of your wins and your losses, right? We have nothing but excuses, right? Well, I can't start that, or I can't do this because of that, or da, da, da. Listen, if you're not going to start something, just say it. Say, hey, man, you know what? In my head, I'm just not ready. That's taking ownership. I'm just not ready for it. I wasn't there. Okay. Don't wish you can do something then not do it. Okay. And so I wish that I had this as a younger man, that I had this directed at me, and that school would teach me, and I had the right mindset to excel in life. Okay, I really, really wish I had it. So I'm just encouraging you guys. It's my most favorite book on what it was I did as extreme ownership. And when you go through it, it's kind of a hard read. Not everybody got out of it like what I got out of it, but there's no way that you cannot ask yourself these questions. Okay, of am I taking ownership? Am I taking ownership of my relationship? Am I taking ownership of my credit? I mean, with Kathy's help and all this kind of stuff, just so everybody knows, yes, did I lose weight? Yes, I've lost over 115 pounds. My credit score is at 812, 815 or something as of the other day. I'm debt free as far as any of the taxes now. Everything I was in debt has been paid off. And you know what, guys? That was paid off this year. I've been paying that stuff for a long time. And I just had to take ownership of what I did back in those days. Okay? No excuses, no bullshit. Move forward and take ownership of your shortcomings, and you're going to see things change. You just will. I've seen this in my own students, right? This even black belts, just so you know. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people have a hard time, because I'm pretty since extreme ownership, I'm pretty well kind of an in your face type of guy, in case you don't know me, and I like that same counter back in my immediate circle, the men that I surround myself with, um, when we speak. So I have black belts at right. We have belts, and you congratulations on getting your black belt, but then all of a sudden you don't train. Let's say you're a higher ranking black belt. I haven't seen you in class for 4 or 5 years, 3 years, and all of a sudden you want to pop in and you want to test, right? It's your next rank for testing. For what? For what reason? To have the acclimates and you didn't do all the work? What ownership is there's no ownership. There's no integrity. There's none of that. And there's no personal development. Okay? There's no personal development. Why are you doing this? Let's say you're a doctor and you were a surgeon, but now you win in Congress, and that's all you've done now for the next 20 years, has been in Congress, and you still doctor, but you haven't operated, you haven't seen patients, you haven't done any of it for how long? And then what? Is that the doctor you wanna have work on you yourself? No. Same thing with black belts, right? It drives me crazy. Yes, I was a black belt, but I haven't done anything for 10 years, but I can still teach it because I have a black belt. No, it is a perishable skill. Unless you are sharpening your sword, moving forward, it's a perishable skill. Okay? Get out of your own way, have some ownership in what you're doing. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got to change some stuff before I do anything like that. And so I just think that this is what 75 hard did for me, guys. This is a main question, a big question I had. Several people asked about 75 hard. Jose asked me, what's my morning and stuff look like? Listen, my showers, guys, is one of the times that I'm always in that shower, whether I'm doing the cold shower or not, right? There's a 5-minute cold shower that we do. And Everybody Wants to Rule the World, that song everybody loves, right? That song is just about long enough that when it's done, you have your 5-minute shower in, just so you know. I play it all the time when I say I have an Alexa in my bathroom and I say, Alexa, play Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I know that I start my cold shower when that song's done and it's easy to listen to and I'm singing along, that 5 minutes goes by quick. That's one of the things I do, Jose, in my morning thing to get a cold shower in. I don't know. I'm a weird guy. I like to shower first thing in the morning, even if I'm going to go do a workout, and I'll shower afterwards also. It just kind of wakes me up for sure. And so that's one of the things that I've done. The next thing is taking that picture. And let me tell you something, guys. If I didn't have these pictures, I'd be super depressed because even on ketogenic stuff, right? I'm in a, I'm in where I've stayed stable almost for 4 months. I haven't seen anything. And it's just now recently that I've seen me dip down again in some weight loss again because, and I could get super discouraged, right? We all get discouraged, right? This is This is motivation and discipline, man. There's a huge difference, right, Jose? We have this motivation. It's Monday morning. I'm going to get this started. We got a week of Thanksgiving. I'm going to work out all week, and then I'm going to eat with my Thanksgiving. I'm right at it, and come Monday at 2:00 in the afternoon, we're already eating some shit that we shouldn't be eating. And then what? We've lost all momentum that we've had. And guess what? That's when your discipline better step in. I've talked about this time and time again. Motivation is a great thing because it gets your endorphins working. But it's nothing without discipline and follow through because you are going to get hit with a right, with a left, with a hook, with a body shot. Life is going to come at you in every angle, and there'll be every excuse on the book. You're going to have family members that saying, "Oh, you've had a really rough time of it. It's okay. It's okay. Take some time to yourself." Bullshit. Move past it. Move through it. That's what I feel. Okay. This is what having ownership in what you're going to have do. And this is just my thing. So as far as what I see you get up at 5 a.m. I have these big visions of being up at 3:30, 4:30 and working out with Jocko, but I've yet to have it happen. I get home and I'm answering emails or something like that, and I don't get to bed until around midnight. And then, by the time it's all said and done, uh, it's I'm getting up a little bit later and I still got to get my workout in and stuff like that. So my morning and evenings, Jose, to be honest with you on the question you asked me, is like what I said. I have prayer in the shower. I'm kind of doing my thing, when the water's hot. And then I thank God for keeping me here. I ask him for forgiveness of stuff that I know that I've done and that I'm going to do for the day. I'm a hard dude to be around. I demand excellence around me. And then if you're not giving it to me, I'm gonna hammer you for it. And then and so I'm trying to be a better leader every day. I'm 60 years old and I'm trying to continually grow my mindset to be a better man, uh, to be an example for my children. So I reflect on all this stuff in the shower, and I pray, and I think, and then the cold shower hits. I put on Everybody Wants to Rule the World. My alarm clock goes off. It's the Rocky theme. Dun 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 dun. Dun. That's my alarm when I get up in the morning, and to start that day. And then in the evening, I personally kind of like working out in the evening in my home gym. Just so you know, I just kind of enjoy it. I go to 24-hour fitness a lot because in the evening also I like to hit a wet steam. It's the only gym I have that has a wet steam in it. And I really enjoy sitting in there for 15, 20 minutes in a huge wet steam where you just kind of detoxing and doing that kind of stuff. And if I don't have an indoor workout done, I'll go in that wet steam and I'll do push-ups on the bench right there inside there. I'll do shadow boxing in there and stuff like that. And it's quite a workout in a 10-minute time. Get your heart up at 140. That's what kind of my evenings are, and that's how I enjoy doing things myself. I enjoy an evening workout. I feel sometimes if I do all my workouts and before I go to bed, I feel like I'm cheating myself. This is just me. This is how messed up my head is. I'm like, man, you lazy, man. You didn't do nothing before you came home and sat down and watched some TV. Why aren't you working out? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what my morning and stuff is, guys. And so with that being said, guys, I mean, I can sit here and talk for a long time. You can see I'm pretty passionate about this stuff, and and people that want to start ketogenic diets. I get a lot of stuff. I have a few videos. I have somebody come in and read. Let me just tell you, Johannes's mom is she may not be on here, but she asked me about some other stuff. Let me just give you some quick stuff, guys. What's easy? What's an easy ketogenic breakfast? If you're going to have breakfast, I intermittent fast myself, but if you're going to have breakfast, and then I have a lot of breakfast sometimes when you're going out. So let's say I'm going out. I go out. Uh, just so you know, guys, I don't have a good relationship with food. If you guys want to know that, I don't enjoy going out to nice restaurants. I don't enjoy eating food. It's been a scourge and taking things away from me and my weight for many, many years. So I got kind of this messed up relationship with food. And that's why sometimes if you go out with me, people always ask me, Mr. Coxon, I eat nothing and stuff like that. It's just like I enjoy the company. I don't enjoy the food. I don't need to go to a party to eat. I need to go to the party and enjoy my people that are around me, and I enjoy them. And that's what I like. But here's some things, guys. If you're out and about and you want to have a meal and you're at a cafe, omelets are always a great kicker. If I go and I'm going to eat something, an omelet, you'll see me get a 3-egg omelet. I'll ask them put a little spinach in there for a little bit of that. I will ask for a little bit of cheese, not very much. Now, if you guys don't want to have cheese, you don't have to have cheese, but I'll have avocado on top. Avocado is a high-fat, great source for ketogenic. So I got the spinach, this right, and then I'll say sometimes I have no toast and I have none of that. Sometimes, even though tomatoes aren't the best keto thing on the world, I'll tell them to grill a couple tomatoes extra well on the grill. I have them; they're not fried; they're grilled, and that they're kind of cooked that way. And I enjoy a little bit of those tomatoes right there. I have a little bit of coffee, and I have water, and that meal will fill me right up. And that is a great ketogenic meal right there. Eggs is a game changer for that. And so that's just kind of how I do things, guys. I enjoy salmon and asparagus. I put a little bit of grass-fed butter on it and to up the fat content a little bit. I always have a little bit of coconut oil if I feel I need to have some more fats in my diet, and then that's how I do things. So there's hopefully that will answer some of the stuff. I can out a little more. My main thing, Vance, I appreciate you, man. I see you keep on doing that. I hope you got something out of this, man. I know I'm pretty passionate about this kind of stuff. I'm pretty passionate about being um, focused and disciplined, right? Because I have to work on this stuff myself, guys. I work on it on a daily. If I was disciplined, I want you to think about that, right? If I was disciplined, did I have to lose 100 pounds? Shit, no, right? I'm talking about being disciplined all these years, teaching martial arts. Am I disciplined on martial arts and punching and fighting and doing all that? Yeah, that's discipline. Am I disciplined on this area of my life where it needed to be? Obviously not, because my head wasn't right. Okay. That's part of taking the ownership of what you are. Well, you either make excuses or make success. It's up to you what you want to do. And so, you know, for years and years, I thought, depressed and why can't I do this and da da da. Yeah, because my head wasn't right, guys. That's why. Whenever I had successes, my head was right in the game, and when my head's in the game, so does the body follow. The Your mindset is such an important part. Working through injuries, working through knee replacements. I had a knee replacement. I have a really bad knee. I was biting at the chops at competition, watching my students compete, so proud of them, watching my coach compete. And that's something I'm doing for myself next year. 60 years old, I want to get on the mat with another 60-year-old and test my skill, right? Um, that's just something I want to do. And so I'm hoping you guys, you know, Jose, when you're here, if you can for a second, why don't you Jose's got some really good insight um on books. Jose, why don't you give your top 3 books that you think is a good mindset type of book? You just write it in the comments there and people can see it. Um, I'm just telling you that Extreme Ownership was probably one of the most crucial ones. Discipline Equals Freedom is a super, super easy read. It's kind of like a field manual. You go right through that. If you're on 75 hard, you read Discipline Equals Freedom, you'll read 10 pages, no problem. But man, it is insightful when he talks about discipline equals freedom and what that looks like. If you're disciplined on the diet, you're going to have freedom in weight loss. If you're disciplined in training, you're going to have freedom on the mat. If you're disciplined on doing what you got to do, you're going to have freedom in your marriage or in your relationships. If you're disciplined with your finances, you're going to have freedom in your finances. I mean, it is just an awesome, awesome book, and I encourage you guys to teach your children. I just had this with my daughter the other day, and she was riding, and we were talking about interest. So she's getting ready to do a loan, and we have saved enough money for her to go to another school that she wants to go to. She's going to go to a cosmetology school, and we've saved money for that. And we were talking about interest. Is that interest-free loan? And she's like, "What exactly does that mean, Dad?" And so I explained to her the beauty of interest, right? That if interest is in your positive, where you use compound interest to create wealth, if you get to have the interest, you create wealth. In America, the credit card company takes all your money on a continual basis. That's compound interest against you. And I would say that and Ariel looked at me and she goes, "Dad, why didn't they teach us this in high school?" I said, "That's a good try, baby. I don't know. I wish they did." All right. So I just want you to, I encourage you guys to uh, put your kids, have some talks with them, because what our schools are teaching them isn't getting them ready for real life. Real life is going to hit you in the face every single freaking day, right? Death, taxes, okay, debt, relationship issues, weight loss issues, weight gain issues. I mean, I don't care what it is, it's going to hit you every single freaking day. All right. Get up and smack it back, and move through and become the warrior that you guys are meant to be. All right. Jose, thanks for this. Jose's got 3 of them. I popped them up here, guys. They're in the comments now. All right. He's got the 5 a.m. Club, which I bought that book. I haven't read it just yet, but I have got it. Courage is Calling. That sounds pretty awesome. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Obviously, Ryan Holiday is somebody you like, it looks like, huh, Jose? So here's some great guys. Listen, this Jose is a great advocate of 75 Hard and books to read. If you guys want to go look at him, I haven't seen Jason Flame on here, but he's another one that's done this. John Viverka, Ashley Sage, Dickie Billings, all these guys that have done this 75 Hard with me and pushed through this stuff is an awesome thing. And I hope that I took an hour with you guys to do some question and answers and maybe give you guys a little bit of what goes on in my head and why am I the way I am, or why do I demand the excellence that I do when I'm around me, because I know the potential of people, man. I mean, I am a little bit older now, so I know the potential that people have to be great. And if they could just get out of their own way, okay? And fall in love with the process of failure. That's what I think. The process of failure is the most awesome gift that you can have, is being able to fail up, right? We either fail down or we fail up. And the lessons learned, and just how special winning is. Not just a match, but winning in general. It is a special thing, and it doesn't happen all the time. And when it does, you got to embrace that win and move forward through it, and be the winner that you guys can have. And listen, everybody's fighting somebody. Everybody's fighting something, not somebody. Well, maybe everybody is fighting somebody, but everybody is fighting something. So Jay Walker just popped on saying good morning, man. It's good to see Jay on here. I talked about you, Jay, in the beginning. Jay's kind of the guy that started this all for me. This this journey back in the day. I mean, he's the beast right now, doing something else. He's trying to win right now in his 50s. Just a great mindset. And I'll have Jay on my podcast soon, and we'll talk a little bit about mindset, because him and I have quite the same thing. And we all battling demons, guys. We battle them every day. Okay, we either defeat them or they defeat us. That's just the way it goes. All right. There is no cushion. There's no maybes. There's none of that. There's none of that shit. Either just do what you're going to do, okay, and push through the obstacles and the hurt and the pain, whether it's mentally or whether it's physically. Get yourself doing what you're going to do, okay. All right. As you, Vance, you fight in my own mind. You know what, Vance? Everybody fights in their own mind, bro. I don't know. You know what I mean? I understand that you need help with that. I get it, man. I'm telling you, I have most of my stuff battles is a battle between the ears, right? And if you're gonna look at excuses, most of the time we got to look in the mirror, because that's really where the excuses start. It all starts when we look at ourselves, and it also starts we put the blame on everybody else, right? We're mad at somebody else for our shortcomings instead of just taking some ownership and listen, man, I suck at this department here, and I need to move past this, and that's what I got to do. All right. Hey, listen, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this hour with me. It's an hour and 11 minutes. I could just go on and rant and rave all about all this, because I have a lot of passion for this stuff. I have a great stuff in the works for 2022. I will actually have a book coming out soon for 2022. I'm looking forward to getting that out probably first quarter. Just a little bit about journey, life, mindset. If you got something out of this, guys, I appreciate if you would share it with somebody that you may need to talk about it. If I can be an encouragement to somebody going through some journeys that they can, I would love to be able to do that. In order for you to do that, you guys can share this video. The audio portion of this will be up by the end of afternoon. And if I'd appreciate it, guys, if you would go to my website, which is www.markcox.com, and subscribe to my either through Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you guys like your podcast through. That'd be great. If you can leave a review, it would be awesome. Share these videos. Encourage somebody today to stay in the fight. Okay? You yourself stay in the fight. When the battle comes, okay, you must stay ready to be ready. Remember that. Stay ready to be ready. So don't let yourself slack. Don't let yourself slack mentally, physically, at all. Stay ready to be ready. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a great, great day. I'll see you soon, Vance. I love you guys all. Any more comments on this? I'll answer any more comments you guys got. Share it, you guys. Real talk today. I love you guys. Bye.